People think that they understand paralysis after spinal cord injury, but the reality is very different. The reality is that it takes time to really understand paralysis, because you need to learn how to live, you need to learn how to understand your body, and you need to learn to understand a whole bunch of other dynamics when it comes to living with paralysis. The first thing that I think is very different is that you need to learn how to manage expectations. You need to learn how to change your expectations, I would say, because before your injury or before an injury, I think most of us have certain expectations about what a day is like, what a day at school is like, what a day at work is like, what a day just throughout is like, maybe what a week is like, what a year is like, what a life of a normal human being, quote unquote, is like. Expectations need to change. They're very, very different, and you need to really change your expectations, because otherwise you're going to be finding yourself falling short of meeting your expectations. That's if you have very high expectations, and I was one of them. I used to have high expectations. I still have high expectations, but I think that I learned with time that I couldn't hold myself to that level because I couldn't, deliver. I was learning about my body. I was learning about, family dynamics. I was learning about just trying to live a new life in a new body, essentially, with a wheelchair, with a hell of a lot of different circumstances than what it was before. And I think that I didn't realize that. And initially it would cause a lot of frustration. It would cause a lot of anger sometimes. And, I would fall short and just feel like I wasn't a success and feel like I was just, letting myself down. And that was, I think, something that I had to learn and that I didn't understand right out of the gate as a spinal cord injury person. The second thing is that I don't think people understand, and this is for those outside of a spinal cord injury, or even you that have a spinal cord injury, I don't think that people understand the effort that it takes to live with a spinal cord injury. Whether you're a high injury quad or a low injury para, there's a definite higher level of effort to just live life. We have to plan a lot more, right? We have to do things with a lot more time to, account for issues, challenges, things that might get stuck throughout the day, obstacles, whatever it is that the day is going to throw at you. You have to think about those things ahead of time. If you don't, if you think you can just do things like you did before, like an able-bodied person, you're going to find yourself facing even bigger challenges on an everyday basis. And so I don't think people see the effort behind things. I always think about just how hard I have to work to be at the level of everybody else at work, for example. The same would go for school, right? I had to work extra hard to get A's or to get B's or to whatever grade that I wanted to get, because I had different challenges than everybody else. I had challenges getting up in the morning, I had challenges getting to school, I had challenges at school, and I had challenges after school. And most students didn't have those challenges. Some might have different challenges, right? Some might have socio-economic challenges, family issues, whatever it is. Everybody has challenges, to be honest. But I think the challenges that we have as people with spinal cord injuries are way, way different. And they're sometimes invisible to a lot of other people. They might think the challenges are the wheelchair. They might think the challenges are lack of accessibility, which are, right? Those are huge challenges. But there's a whole bunch of other things that, people don't take into account. How you feel, spasms, nerve pain, back pain, urinary tract infections, edema in the legs. There's so many things in terms of your body that are different that might, create challenges for you that, it takes a lot more effort just to live life, to be normal, quote unquote. And it becomes just a big challenge throughout the day. So that's another thing that I think is a misconception or people don't really understand. Now, the one thing that I do want to say, and I always like ending in a positive note or leaving with a positive story or positive outlook, is that I think that once you have a spinal cord injury, you think that that's going to be life and it's going to be challenging all the time. Things improve, guys. They do improve. They get better. They get better with time. They get better with experience. They get better with you learning how to deal with certain challenges, dealing with spasms, dealing with UTIs, dealing with all these things. it just becomes different, right? So whether you have a spinal cord injury and it's just a new spinal cord injury, or you've been in a wheelchair and, you know, with paralysis for a while now, I think you can agree that things are going to get better. Obviously, a lot has to do with your outlook, a lot has to do with your personality, a lot has to do with the support that you might have with your family and friends, but things are going to get better, and it's all about you working hard to make sure that these things are better. If you work hard, if you find ways of going around the challenges, if you find ways of going around the issues that you might be facing on an everyday basis, if you ask for help, if you do the things that you need to do to make your life a little bit better, I think that you're going to find that with time, things are just going to get better and better and better. I've been living with a spinal cord injury now for 31 years, and look, my days are still challenging, my days are still difficult, and I still face tons of challenges, tons of issues. I'm still learning how to manage my body because it changes with time, with age. There are just so many issues and things that life is throwing at me all the time, but I think that time has made me stronger. It has almost like made me thicker, you know, have thicker skin, just be more emotionally stable, be wiser, and all these things that make you, you know, handle things better. I think those things, those qualities in my personality, they've improved and they've made my life a lot better. If you have a spinal cord injury right now, if you just sustained it, if you had, you know, spinal cord injury for a while now, or if you know somebody with a spinal cord injury or somebody that is living with one, subscribe to this channel. This channel is for you. That's why I created it. I'm going to be sharing all the stories from my life, anecdotes and experiences that hopefully will help, you know, you out there, just by, you know, giving you tips, experiences, anecdotes, whatever it is that I can share. I'm going to do that here on From My Chair, this YouTube channel. Subscribe, I would appreciate it. Leave your comments below, your questions. I'll make sure to answer them, and I'll see you on the next one.